It's, if Donald Trump didn't win the election, where would we be? Where would we be? Your world is watching what I can only describe as the brewing of a British Revolution. Yeah? People are awake. People are standing up. I truly believe, Mario. I'm going to invite you now. I don't know what you're doing on the 13th of September. Please come, at least to cover our event. This is going to be a historic watershed moment for Great Britain. Not just Great Britain, I believe the West. I believe we're going to excess 1 million people in our capital city. That's the biggest show of patriotism this country's ever seen. And they're coming together to send a message to the establishment. None of this would have happened. None of it could have happened without Elon Musk purchasing X, giving the British public a platform to see the truth, have a discussion, because the censorship levels before Elon bought, and the ripple effect of Elon buying X, Donald Trump getting elected, I've now got my YouTube channel back. People, we can have this discussion. You could upload this if you want to YouTube, and it won't be censored or deleted. That's insane, because literally I was invisible. So there's been a big policy shift. Where's that come from? And I'll say it's come from Donald Trump and Elon Musk, but it's actually come from the American population. Because the American population went out and voted. And in that election, I remember saying, this election is far bigger than the United States. You're not voting to save America. You are literally voting to save the West. You are voting to save the Christian future of Western nations.
British fair right activist Tommy Robinson has made a fresh round of incendiary claims. This time during a talk with entrepreneur and X Spaces host Mario Nawfal. Robinson used the platform to predict what he described as a looming British Revolution, framing it as part of a global populist surge that he credits former US President Donald Trump and tech billionaire Elon Musk with enabling. Speaking with Nawfal, Robinson insisted that Britain is on the verge of a dramatic political rupture. People have had enough, and September 13th will be the day we show it, he declared, referring to a major event he is organizing, which he claims will attract unprecedented numbers. Robinson argued that the combination of Trump's rise in U.S. politics and Musk's takeover of Twitter, now X, have shifted the global conversation in ways that embolden movements like his own. Trump proved you can beat the establishment, and Elon has given us our voices back, Robinson said, portraying Musk's rollback of content moderation as a liberation for those he believes were silenced by mainstream media and government influence. Mario Nawfal, who has built a reputation for hosting controversial voices in wide-reaching X Spaces discussions, provided Robinson with a global audience. Their exchange underscored how digital platforms, particularly under Musk's leadership, have become staging grounds for figures outside the political mainstream to amplify their narratives. Robinson claimed that without Musk's purchase of X, voices like his would still be buried and banned, pointing to the platform's role in promoting his September 13th event. Critics, however, argue that such rhetoric risks fueling radicalization, especially when paired with Robinson's combative calls for a revolution. The upcoming rally is central to Robinson's current campaign. He has promoted it as a watershed moment for Britain's political direction, though details on logistics and scale remain vague. What is clear is Robinson's attempt to frame the event as part of a larger Western populist struggle, borrowing both symbolism and momentum from transatlantic figures. Opponents of Robinson are quick to note that his revolution framing is not new, and often masks more mundane turnout figures or fizzles into spectacle rather than substantive change. Nonetheless, officials and watchdog groups warn that presenting political protest as an existential cultural uprising risks inflaming tensions in an already fragile climate. Political observers also stress the irony of Robinson's reliance on international figures like Trump and Musk to legitimize a supposedly British revolution. It's a reminder of how interconnected today's fair right movements are, one analyst noted. They feed off one another's narratives, framing local grievances as part of a global war for Western identity. For Robinson, September 13th represents more than a rally. It is a test of his ability to transform fiery rhetoric into tangible mobilization. His conversation with Mario Nawfal offered a preview of the strategy. Combine the symbolism of Trump's political resilience with Musk's social media megaphone to cast himself as part of a broader movement reclaiming the West. Whether the event lives up to Robinson's revolutionary language remains to be seen. What is certain is that by invoking Trump and Musk, Robinson has deliberately elevated his claims from parochial British protest to a transatlantic populist drama, one that will continue to spark both fervent support and fierce criticism as September approaches.
Voters are not backing her up.
There is one pushback slightly, which I think no one ever really says around here. We all know people who would do the same. If they got the vague advice from a lawyer down the pub who said, well, you know, if you swap your name and you say you take your name off those deeds, right, there are people who take that advice. So actually, it's what I said earlier, the actual details of the crime aren't that important. The hypocrisy. Just don't spend your entire political career going, you should pay your tax, you should pay your tax.
I think it's the glass house thing, isn't it? Yeah. She's put herself in the glass house and therefore she needs to...
I mean, it's like a horror film. Anyone in a horror film saying it'll be fine if I go in this room, you're dead, mate. How have you not seen this coming? As soon as you say to someone, you should resign for this...
Absolutely.
But that's exactly the lack of awareness and the terrible judgment and the reason she can't possibly be Deputy Prime Minister, because if you are going to be that attack dog, if you are going to be criticising 8 other cabinet ministers, criticising Jeremy Hunt for
Jesus
not
Christ,
paying
you
enough,
called for them to resign.
But then you've got to make absolutely certain that your own house is in
You've got to be...
order. But it looks like she hasn't done that.
Yeah, I know I don't often agree with you, but it's like getting a house in order. So even if she hasn't done anything wrong, she hasn't exactly got a house in order and perhaps done it in a textbook way. And if you look, my one advice to anybody who wants to go into politics is don't call for anybody to resign because somebody's going to call for you to resign a little later on.
She hasn't got a house in order figuratively and literally.
Exactly.
So Steve, listen, I mean, I think with the Eye also a slightly left-leaning paper here. They were also saying Judgment Day for Rayner, with Starmer prepared to sack Deputy Prime Minister. Now, he hasn't actually come out and said that.
Yeah.
And so they're making the call here that he's prepared to do it. And you've got little birdies tweeting over there in the corner of our Labour friend Matthew Larzer. It's looking likely, perhaps. Maybe we'll call it. Should we call it here on GB News? She's gone tomorrow. Let's make it. Should we call it?
I still think it'll be via resignation, not for...
I think she's going to resign.
But
She should resign.
It wasn't that many hours ago.
But they never resign immediately, do they?
No,
they always have to be
release them down
pushed.
the idea.
They have to see how far can I get away with it, right? And if she had some integrity, she would have resigned immediately, right?
Well...
Jeff Hoon, James Parnell, they were both Labour ministers who were done for some sort of...
No, James wasn't. He resigned because of Gordon.
OK, but they both...
Jeff Hoon didn't. Jeff Hoon had a scandal.
The three women, Louise Haigh, she had stolen a mobile phone, but it was years ago. It was spent. She had to...
I think that's one of the issues, actually, is that he has to apply the same rules to Angela. He has to apply to other people. I actually think on a personal... Sorry, Steve.
No, because in terms of not the same rules, it was amazing to see that full-throated defence and support that Starmer was giving. And it must have been nice for Rachel Reeves to see what one of them would look like. He's not done one for her.
Did you see Rachel going, are you all right? Which is more than he managed. Look, I think one of the issues is Angela is, she's a person who wears her heart on her sleeve. I think she obviously had been very upset before she recorded the interviews yesterday. I think on a personal level, I think she's just... She will get to the stage where she doesn't want to take any more. Her private life is a bit complicated, which is one of the reasons for the house complications. Not an excuse, but it's one of the reasons that she wanted to have, a base on the South Coast as well as the base in the constituency. And I wonder if she may feel, I've had it and quit politics, in which case there's talk. Will Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester, what constituency is, who many feel that if Mr Starmer gets to the stage he needs to go, or indeed pushed,
Are we
Mr
talking
Burnham
about
would
some
do.
more toast here? I've got loads of...
You're going to have to get another stuff.
I tell you what...
How long life is it?
I can get one out for Starmer, for Reeves, for all of them if you fancy it.